Listen, listen, listen. Have you ever felt like your emotions were so all over the place that you couldn't speak? That it's like your emotions were yelling, shut up, or you felt captive to what's going on today? I just want to encourage you that you still can find your voice. This is a new season for you. Your voice, whether it's represented in your kingdom entrepreneur or represented in your ministry or represented in just having a voice at home, Mom. You know, I lost my voice 2 times, very dramatically. I remember it. The first time, I was a radio announcer, and after 15 and a half years of doing that, my husband's business was so successful that I needed to retire and help him. Oh my goodness. I'll never forget that weekend after that. I just felt lost. I just felt like, oh, my life is over. And here I had 2 beautiful kids. Come on, wake up, Theresa. I had a beautiful daughter and a handsome little son, and I had a husband. But I was so determined. It was just like wired in my DNA that I wanted to speak and make a difference. So that took me on a journey of spinning out in fear, wanting to do something. So I studied and studied for quite a few years of marketing. It's like I would get up real early before I had to take the kids to school. I'd have time in the Word. I love time in the Word. And then after that, I would open up marketing and I would study marketing, and I would just be boom, full force into learning marketing. Well, after about a few years, an ideal client came along. Wow, I got to use everything I learned to make them a social media influencer. It was awesome. And then my husband said, Theresa, you're losing your voice. It's like, that's like a foreign language. I didn't understand what he meant. And after about 2.5 years, I got cut from the job. And I understand the full reality of losing your voice. So much of my identity was based on what I did. Radio announcer, before that, pro golfer, radio announcer, social media director, boom. And you know what's really beautiful is I was writing these listen to the Vinedresser words before I had the client, but that came back just in a fresh and anew, like listening to what God was saying to me in the midst of the crush and the rejection and the abandonment. And then I started to write them. And then I thought, well, imperfect action is better than no action. I published them on Amazon, all 3 of them now. So I say all that to say that I went on this journey of trying to find my voice. And I started about 4 years ago with the Kingdom Mentor Academy. And what really wrecked me, what really got me fired up, was understanding your identity. My husband said something way back then. He said, we are spirit beings having a human experience. And that just wrecked me for the ordinary. I began to study. I began to understand what the kingdom of God was. I began to understand what are the basis of our identity. I began to write out declarations right and left, had them all over the place. And then we opened up the Redeem Your Voice camp. I was so passionate about this because I'm like, this is the time, this was before the pandemic, this is the time we got to redeem our voice. And then I sat down one morning, I said, God, what is the key to your voice? I had a Song of Songs leaflet next to me. And he said, pick that up and read it. I said, okay. So I'm going through chapter 1. It's just those single booklets of the Passion Translation. I don't know if you remember those back then. And the first chapter is full of bookmarks, jelly marks, just my notes. And then I got to chapter 2. And I stopped dead in my tracks in chapter 2, verse 4, was when it says he entered, he motioned me into the house of wine so I could drink of his love divine. The particular edition I had was the 3rd edition, and it's no longer available, but it just like, boom, it said it. And I'm like, I about spilled my coffee again. I wasn't eating anything with jelly, and I was just wrecked. The house of wine. So I began on that journey of understanding that as we go through life, as we embrace the crush of situations and the messes, as we go through the agitation of fermentation, as we go through the clarification to remove the toxins, as we sit in a dry and cool, dark place before we're served, I realize that our voice is the ultimate wine. That when the wine is ready, the first person who gets to drink it is Jesus. It's like your life pours out and Jesus gets to drink it. And then you get to spill from the overflow in your voice where you become an extraordinary solution to people's pain points. So you are that tall glass of wine. Your voice is the center of his thrilling vibrations of his voice coming through yours. You are aligned with heaven, or you can be, and truly be that voice in the darkness, the voice that speaks. It's like this: your voice, you are the much needed salt to a world who's lost its appetite or hope for a loving meal at the Father's table. Your voice is the light that shines in the darkness when the world thinks darkness is normal and struggles with enmity and conflict. But it's your voice that shines bright. Never before, now, or ever before, your voice is needed. So you're like, that sounds great, Theresa, but I'm dealing with agitation of trauma, the drama. I'm dealing with relationship issues. I'm dealing with my home and the situation with my kids. I'm dealing. I understand. I'm so sorry, especially with the pandemic going on. I am so sorry. I understand that pain. I understand and can relate to family pain. And there's a place to rebuild it. There's a place to go forward in the vine. So excited. I have opened the Redeem Your Voice Camp as part of the Kingdom Mentor Academy. And I'd like to just check that out. That's all. redeemyourvoice.com/open. If that can't quite connect on that, I'll invite you to a blueprint call. Like I said, I get so excited about those. If you're coming through the blueprint call, I ask you some questions, give you a framework for breakthrough, and boom, it's just so amazing. The influencers, the authors, the teachers, the coaches that come through this door, and the friends. I say all this to say, your voice is needed like never before. You are valuable. You are enough. Someone is looking for you to do you, boo. Do you, be you. So that's my invitation. Check it out. redeemyourvoice.com/open. You know, that phrase, you do you, boo, is from one of my coaches. And I love it now. Dave will be in the kitchen and I'll say something and he'll go, you do you, boo. I said, you do you, boo. He cooks, so let him do that. Anyway, you're valuable and I appreciate you. And I'll talk to you in the next video.